you remember like when people fought in Nasser, it was roughly around 40 or 27 people, but it was all over, you see, because it was threatening their leadership. But when communities fight, it doesn't threaten their leadership. They don't concern that much.
Akolkor was fired from his position at the National Security Services, NSS. He was appointed as governor of Warrap State. But then your appointment was revoked within, I think, 3 days after before he was sworn in.
Welcome to Jimosi podcast. Salva Kiir this week
Again.
fired. Yes, this guy always have something to do. So he fired the governor of Warrap. And that guy is called Magok, Deng. And as of today, a large army is being sent to Warrap State. For some of you that do not know, there's a communal conflict that has been ongoing for some time. And as of this week, it killed 62 lives. 62 people were killed. And for that reason, it declared the state of emergency in Warrap. And there's another county called Mayom County.
Mayom County in Warrap State.
Yes. And so Magog was replaced by a guy called Bolwek and Bolwek Senior. And army is heading to Warrap as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said Bolwek, I thought Monyachwe.
Yes.
That one is Bolwek too, but I think they said Bolwek Junior.
Yes. So people were saying if they had not put the picture of the person, she would have assumed there's a husband that has been appointed. Yeah, but I think they must be related. So at this point, I would say it's, how do we call brother-in-law? Tuachwe.
Unpande.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
So
it's getting closer to home.
Yeah, so before we look at the conflict of Warrap, do you think Governor Magu was fired because of the conflict or because of not performing his duties?
That's tricky because Kiir is not known to fire people simply because of not performing, but mainly because of lobbying. Because I think some time back, it's the same guy, Magok, who said if he gets fired and then he finds out that some people lobbied him out, he's going to deal with them one by one.
Yes.
So like that could be what happened. Maybe there was some lobbying going on. And also because of conflict, sometimes like if there's a major event happening within a place, Kiir tends to like reshuffle people. You might even be surprised that after some years or some months, the guy might be taken back again.
Yeah, so according to me, like it's really very hard to really say it was fired because of not performing. But at the same time, I can't say it was fired because of the conflict in Warrap.
Okay.
The conflict in Warrap State has been ongoing for a long time.
For years, right?
Yes, and that's why you have seen that they have a lot of governors. You come in today thinking that Salva Kiir thinking that you will change things. 6 months in, 3 months in, you have not done anything. People are still fighting. He changed you. People say, oh, this person might deal with this conflict. Put him in. And then he put you in. And sometimes I look at some of the governors that has been appointed in the past. It seems like some of them are recommended based on the way they used to do their things during the SPLA era.
Okay.
Because most of the people that have been handling the Warrap State were general in the SPLA movement.
Okay.
So that seemed people are this person can really deal with this, and then they appoint them, and then they go let him down. But again, we can also say that he might have been fired because he was not actually doing anything. Because when he went there, the first few things that he did was to fire. He fired the revenue commissioner for the state and put in his own son. He also replaced the mayor of the town, and high chances he put in his relative. So this guy technically It was going there to get some resources because
self-interest.
Yeah, it seemed like it didn't go to work there, and that's why it was threatening people. And if I was Magog, I would have not threatened anybody because Kiir appointing people or removing people is doing it the countrywide.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not people in your state that are actually lobbying you out. It's just the general situation, like the way that you mentioned earlier, that it might be because of the conflict. That's why people felt like, oh no, let's get rid of this guy.
Yeah, because if you look at Warrap, there's been so many governors. Like here's a list from Wikipedia. Sometime back, there was somebody called, currently it's that Bolweka God. And then initially there was someone called,
it will be Magog
there was
after him.
Aliwa
And then
Yenya
Ali,
Aliu.
yeah.
And then that was between 2021 and 2022. And then there's someone called Maniam Bol Malek from 2022 to 2023. And then there was Kwal More. Alafu ndio huyo Nani. And then when Nani Akolkor was fired from his position at the National Security Services, NSS, he was appointed as governor of Warrap State. But then your appointment was revoked within, I think, 3 days after before he was sworn in. Wakaweka mzee fulani, sikumbuki jina yake. So like within 2021 and now there's been more than 5 people. So this guy trying to threaten people, it's like, Kwani, how special are you? Because even for you to take that position, there's somebody who was there for a few months.
And did you lobby him out? Did you lobby him out?
Yeah,
if you did not lobby them out, then nobody's lobbying you out.
Yeah. Why would you be fired up because someone was appointed in your place? But then when you received that position, you were very happy and celebrating. Yet unajua kuna mtu alikuwa mbele yako. So that's being selfish.
And the other thing that I've also observed is that every time a new governor is appointed or somebody is replaced, I always see like a group of people going to do congratulations or to do what at their residence.
Yeah.
So for every one of these people that has been appointed, people have gone to their compound to give them a congrat. You see?
Yeah.
And
Very
they all
big
tend not to
celebration.
function. So it kept me wondering, why are people like this? What is it? The Shorba Defense Forces? Other people are genuinely happy for the appointment of individuals. So I really find it weird and it's really crazy. And I think last time we talked about nepotism, about Magog when he started appointing his own
son.
kids in the same state where he was the leader. So it's really crazy.
Yeah, and that's why we were talking of Kiir last time, right? Being nepotic. Because you cannot practice corruption as the head of state, appointing your own child. Like it beats the purpose because people might not agree that these people were qualified for that position you are appointing them into because you are the appointing authority. But then if they are appointed by somebody else, then at least you cover yourself, right? Yeah, it will not be like something very direct because there's a very thin line between ethics and professionalism when it comes to family. Like you said, it's quite hard to have accountability when there's too much familiarity between two people interacting. So the same thing applies. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Let your children be appointed by other people into different departments, but not you directly putting them in position of power.
Yeah, and if people were going to follow the same thing of like when you're appointed into a position, you go in and appoint your own family members, then now it's going to be a victim of that. Because now that Bolwek has come in, Bolwek is going to appoint his own relative and replace the relative that were brought in by Magog, which is his sons and other people. So you see, that's why it is not good to be appointing relative because you are in the top leadership position at that moment.
Yeah.
Let people occupy their position based on their merit and say kind of things. But the side story to that is that, Magog was actually sick.
Okay.
And he went out for treatment. And when he came in, that's when he was actually
informed.
Was fired the same night. Do you
That's
think?
a Jamata Pona.
Yes. Do you think Salva Kiir did something right?
Now I feel bad for him because you are sick. Because when you are sick, you don't actually recover instantly, right? The sickness kind of lingers on for some time. And then you just come back from treatment, alafu unapata heartbreak. Then you even get worse. Now you're starting to look at all those boxes of dollars that you had in your mind. I'm going to use this for this.
Yeah.
Your source of income is cut. Because unless I'm a pair or like another chair, of which, regardless of what Nini, the next high position after governorship ni maybe presidency or like a national minister.
Yeah, it can be recycled in. But what I was going to say is that Salva Kiir should be a little bit lenient on people. He should have given this guy at least 3 to 4 days or even a week before he's fired. Because, like you mentioned, that the person has not fully recovered.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you are removed.
Bad news.
And everybody that is out there, like when you work for somebody and you are fired, you don't go home feeling great.
Yeah.
So the kind of feeling that you have when you are fired from any kind of position that you hold, either you are regular employees and you are sent home, that kind of feeling now combined with somebody that's already sick.
Yeah. You're kukua fired. Like losing your job is a sickness in itself because you become depressed, you get like emotional, you start overthinking. So because this income I used to use it for ABCD. Now that I don't have this income, what next? And then before you get another job, you have to tarmac. Trying to apply for different positions, and maybe your position before you got it, it took you a while. So you can imagine.
Yeah, it's really crazy. But at the same time, I cannot blame Salva Kiir at the same time, right? Because I think it was immediately, either a day before or the same day when the fight erupted in Warrap. I think it's between the 20 people that the 62 people died. And sometimes I look at the way that people take lives. Like 62 people is a lot of people.
Even one person is a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
especially when you are meant not to die.
Yeah.
Because if it is just dying, the dying itself, it's okay because sick people die, accident you die. So even in South Sudan right now, each day maybe 1,000 people or more than 1,000 people are dying through natural causes, some accident. There's no problem there. But when people die for something...
Because someone pulled a trigger.
Yeah.
Ama alienda na bow and arrow. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why would you be fighting all the time? When South Sudan is that big. Unakumbuka when we flew in last year? Like, you could see a lot of land in no one is occupying. And it's very green. So such places, people can just like move and unaishi tu place yako, you do your business, do farming, different things. There just needs to be security. These stories are in fighting is not good. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really crazy. But again, when you compare what happened in Warrap actually needed that kind of attention that has been given to it.
Yeah.
Because you remember like when people fought in Nasser, it was roughly around 40 or 27 people, but it was all over, you see, because it was threatening their leadership.
Yeah.
But when communities fight, it doesn't threaten their leadership. They don't concern that much.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is high time now to give it the right attention that it needs, because you can't just be losing people. Even when you do not know. Like, for example, I don't know who are people fighting. Like individuals.
And why are they
I have
fighting?
no relation with them. But I still feel it is bad for them just to die for no reason. Yes, there might be a reason according to them,
but it's not
to
big
me,
enough.
It's not a big reason
lives,
for
right?
you to die.
Yeah.
And there are no winners in wars. And that's how I always say there are no winners.
There's always losers.
Yes, you'll go kill other people. Those people will come retaliate, do the revenge, kill your people. And the cycle continue and the cycle continue, which is not good. Yeah. So I think Salva Kiir should have not fired this guy upon his return. But again, because of the situation that was tense, it is okay for him to fire him.
Well, he has been in that position for some time, right? So let's see, whoever has been like that bulwark, if he's someone of a strong character, mwenye ata make sure there's a lasting peace. Like there's one governor that I really like in South Sudan, Rin Tweng. That person, he has been championing for education. I think he's for Lake State. Yeah, the governor of Lake State. When it comes to matters education, and then he seems like someone with a very strong personality, love for peace. So he has been really trying so hard to make the communities around the area to live peacefully, and also technically doing his job. So like if we could get someone like him again and put them in that Warrap state to address the issue.
Yeah, if they can look for someone like that, or if they also can bypass, or if they can bypass their constitution, whatever, and just appoint Ring Tweng to go and calm the situation.
Alafu nani atabaki Lake State?
They will appoint somebody. So you think if Ring Tweng is gone, people will start fighting now because he's gone? He has ruled them for some time.
Yeah, I think
and when you rule for some time, you bring that stability to the ground. Yeah. Even when you leave for a year, they will not immediately return back to the war. It's always like, let's say when you come in for 3 months, you stabilize everything and you go, the wounds have not healed. People will go back to fighting again.
Yeah, but these issues of things like cattle raiding, intercommunal fights for small things that is watu sijui kama ile yenye ilifanyika juzi around, I think in Eastern Equatoria or somewhere between the Nas Jonglei and Equatorians. Things to do with farming. Yes, I understand your farms are destroyed by the cattle, but then it's not enough reason to open fire or for people to fight. At least people need to come to a solution because these people are leaving their home because of flooding. I saw that there's somewhere again where there has been floods around Bor. So like those people, they cannot live in that flooded area, right? But then when you move, you also have to be very respectful and see how to contain your cattle because you cannot just drive them into farms. Waende wakule farm produce za watu and then, but then these people sometimes I don't really understand how they reason Koikogok and stuff. They're very tough to deal with. But still, those are minor reasons. Like there's always a peaceful solution to every issue instead of retaliation, fights and all that.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. And going back to the Warrap state, you know, in Warrap, the deputy governor is who?
Who?
A wild guess.
I don't know.
Aluel Messi.
Okay. Wait. How? She's still the deputy.
Yes, she has not been replaced. And I was wondering, is it the right time for...
What is she doing anyways?
She's
like
flower girl. I think like if I were Salva Kiir, I'll just replace the deputy governor because it's always good when you have a deputy governor that can work with the governor on the same level.
Yeah.
Because
Aluel Messi, seriously, she's not learned. She's not.
What is her highest education?
Maybe high school. Yeah. It's not someone who understands things to do with democracy, diplomacy, those things. Yeah. I'm very sure there are very strong people who can handle that position better than she does. But then, amewekwa tu hapo. Why? Simply because nitinge Peter Mayem. Because that's how we came to know about her.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, these issues of Warrap state are complicated. And Anuel Messi is a woman, so you should not be that
No,
harsh
I'm not
against
being that
her.
hard. Like being a woman does not mean you need to be handed a position, right? Because I'm also a woman. They
But
should
she
give
has
me
to
the
be.
deputy prime minister.
There are a lot of women that can take that position. So, but
Yeah.
the thing is, like, women have to be represented. And if the person that can represent them is Anuel Messi, then it's a unifying factor.
Hapana.
You know,
Like,
sport
unajua,
always bring people together.
that's how they brought in huyo mama mwenye alikuwa the minister of health during COVID time. Mwenye hata haelewi anything, and then people used to say ni kama alikuwa nurse from somewhere majuu nini. But then hata kuongea ni shida. So like you don't bring in weak women or people who are not qualified enough in the name of representation. Why don't you choose the best women to represent? And then I feel like this is ni kama wanafanya hivyo knowingly. They just pick the worst and then waseme, oh, you see women, we had so and so. They did not perform. What did they do? So then in that case, pick the best. Ndio ukiona, okay, this person is doing ABCD because kulikuwa na nini. There was a woman governor, I think in Western Baragazal. Anaitwa Sarah Cleto. Sahi ni kama ambassador somewhere.
I think she's the new minister for new minister for health. She has
I don't know.
I think she has been sworn in as the minister of health.
Yeah, but she was really doing her job. And then kulikuwa na Nyandeng Malek some time back. I think she was in Warrap.
Who is Nyandeng Malek?
Nyandeng Malek is an old politician.
No, I think you're confusing thing.
No,
the person that was a governor was Awut Deng. Awut, the
Minister of Education.
Yeah. So she was a governor of Warrap State at some point.
Yeah, Nyandeng Malek was nini. Anaitwa Nyandeng Malek Lled. Ni former governor of Warrap State. She's currently 61 years old.
What about Awut?
Awut Deng, I don't know. I'll check.
I think she was also the governor of Warrap. So this issue of men and women is not working out.
This woman was serving as the governor, Nyandeng, from 2010.
Yeah. So anyway, the Warrap State has tested all the leadership of men and women, and it seemed like none of them have actually worked out. And if I was Salva Kiir, I would just replace Anuel Messi with that Choi Deng.
No.
Now that the powers has moved to the other family,
no.
Are women not being represented?
No, like I said, you don't just pick any woman.
But she has the leadership skill. If she can manage
she's a musician.
If she can manage her music crew.
Acha to entertain. Awut Deng was the former Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation before Akue appointed into Nini.
No, it date back before Akue into the other one. Back.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was... But to me, what I was thinking, coming back to the conflict of now the Warrap state, what I was thinking these people should do, like before Salva Kiir did it, I was actually thinking of it, letting the army go there. Because when you let the army go, the army to go and not pick any side, the army should not go and look who is the aggressor and who is not the aggressor, who is doing what and who is doing what. They go there as a neutral. Anybody that's going to start the fight, they deal with that person so that every criminal is held accountable to his actions.
True.
So that the other community do not have to feel that we have to go and revenge for our community. If this person does it, the other community should relax, and the government has to do it to the latest. Pursue the guy, use all the resources that are available. Pursue them, either kill them, either arrest them, take back the cows, give them to the rightful owners.
I don't think killing them is the right thing. Maybe just
if they resist,
obviously
then people have to
collateral, right? When the government forces come to take the cows and take them to the rightful owners, then kutakuwa na ka fight hapo.
Yeah, if there's fight, people will die. Even the army people, some of them can die.
Yeah.
But it's not like you are going to get somebody with the cows and say, here, take the cow, and you kill them at the same time. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah. But like the government really needs to do something about those things.
I think they're doing it right now. We're going to attach, like the army was mobilized today and they're heading there. And they should go deal with those people. Because this issue, like to me, it seems like this issue of this cannot be resolved by the dialogue at this point. This one has gone on. It has been going on for a long time. So it's deep rooted in the community, even in the children.
Yeah.
There's no amount of dialogue that will actually resolve it. It's just saying, okay, enough is enough. You guys relax, Any aggressor that's going to do anything, the government, which is the third party, will have to deal with that person.
Okay.
So if it is to return, you return whatever that will happen, arrest them, put them in jail, 30 years, 40 years, so that other people will not have to repeat the same thing.
From those mistakes. Yeah.
Because there is, like I was saying, there's no amount of dialogue that will resolve this. Because there's a kid that his father has been killed. And it has been mentioned that is that a community that kill your dad. Do you think this small kid, they will grow up knowing that those are their enemies. And when they become of age of carrying firearms, they will go and fight again. So this one is saying, okay, the government came in, the people that used to do this kind of things were held to accountable, others were arrested, others were killed in the process, and the whole thing stopped.
Yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah, because the issue of cattle wrestling, it has a lot of factors in it that you cannot always say this might be the reason. But it's like right now, some of you come to school, you to pursue your education, and it's like education is the tool or is the something that's going to feed you and your family for life. And then somebody come and take away the education, say there's no longer education. You will fight for it. I'm not saying they're the same, but it's the mindset of how they take it.
Yeah.
You will fight for it to make sure. That's why some girls run away to go and pursue education. Other people will do desperate journeys to go to somewhere where they can pursue education. You see, a lot of desperate attempts just to get the education. The same things with the people keeping cattle.
So now, like for example, if these people they fall sick or their children fall sick, they will not sell their cows. What will they do? They'll call their relatives either in Juba or Maju to send money for medication. Unaona? Like they love cows that much. So imagine someone coming in to steal your cows. Something that you cannot even sell to treat your child or to treat yourself. Then like your rage itafika wapi?
Yeah.
So it's the same. Like they don't want. It's like they kind of almost worship their cows. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is really crazy, man. I feel bad for the people of Warrap. I don't want to be specific with the community, but I really feel sorry for them. And unajua, the government has been delaying this one for so long because they are the right people to put these things in order. In Uganda, there used to be a problem of Karamejong with the Turkana and Karamejong of the other side, cattle wrestling, raiding people. The government of Uganda took over the responsibility. He's the one that pursued those culprits and bring them to Buga, return the cows. And even like when you might not have heard of it, but when South Sudan got peace and such kind of things, some individuals from the southern side from South Sudan think that they were smart enough to go and get free cows. They crossed over to the Uganda side. They went and took other people's cows. And then the message was relayed to the government because they have anti-cattle theft unit that deal with that. They came after them and these people were shot with the gunship. They all died and the cows were returned. And People from South has never tried that. I don't want to mention the community, but people went and do that. And they were taught a lesson.
Yeah, like it's not worth it. If something is not yours, there's no point of stealing it from someone else. Just work for your own.
Easy things
Those
are
few
always
cows
good.
that you think you have,
Mm-hmm.
they will have kids. Like they'll give.
No,
Is it giving birth or
it's
what?
too slow. It's too slow.
Then look
That
for
process
money
is
and
too
buy
slow.
some.
You can
Yeah.
just go and get them for free.
And then
Sometimes
you
they
die
don't
on the way.
Yeah, they don't look at the life of people that they will.
They will be lost.
Yeah, they just look at you coming back with cows, and then when those people come back, they are praised that they are heroes. They went and this and stories of motivation at all, which is really, really bad.
It's not good. It doesn't promote a good habit because it kind of promotes laziness. That you can just go and take something that does not belong to you forcefully from other people and you come and take it as your own. But deep down, you know, this is not mine.
Yeah.
So why would you be a thief? Because I'm very sure if you tell someone you are a thief, they'll be angry, right?
Yeah.
But then if you steal someone's cattle, then what are you? Are you not a thief?
You're a big thief. Robbery. Because
That's
you're doing
like
it with
robbery
violence.
with violence, yeah. Because you don't just go like that. Munaendanga mna stage a fight. And then those who wrestle other people's cattle or those who raid, they go prepared. And then unapata watu wamelala, and most of them are done like in the dead of night. So you just go and start unleashing the cattle from the whatever, like where they are kept. And then by the time mwenyeji anaamka anaona haya our cattle are going. So waanze kukimbilia their weapons nini then mshaanza kuwatwanga.
Yeah.
But like this is not good. Just do your own dignified work. The work of your hand, your sweat is better than going for something and then 2 days later you are killed. Simply because you could not contain your greed.
Yeah. And there's this other thing that I always, and high chances, a lot of people will recommend that the community to be disarmed, go collect their arms.
Do
I
you
always
think
say that one will never work.
Yeah.
It will never work in South Sudan. Because when disarmament is being done, one community will say, these only are being collected and other communities are not being collected. And it's not done for the whole state. They will do for those specific sections. What if they go borrow guns from the other sub-communities that are living with them to come and fight? What if they hide some of their guns and they only give you? What if, okay, let's look at the national government. Because the way that the army is not committed. So there are some people that will be given guns with time.
They sell them.
They sell them, they give up on army, they skip and then they go sell.
Ama mtu anaenda anakunywa pombe, unalewa and your armament gets stolen by somebody.
Yeah. So in a country where like the arms itself are not under control of the army, fully control, disarming those communities is not a solution.
Yeah.
Solution is for the government to go deal with the criminals and stay in the middle. Like if
you establish army base between two communities.
If they are neighbors, you sit in the middle just to make sure that every time someone is crossing to the other side, they have to get you there in the middle. And then I feel like they have these guys, because I know a lot of people that are learned from Warrap state, specifically from those communities that are so learned. These people are the ones that are supposed to go to the young generation, especially those that are 12 or even 14 and below, and teach them there's education, there's business. There are so many ways of living a life. And then show them that how they are doing it. Because the one that are already 15, 16, they have already lived in that life, right? So there's not a lot can change at this point.
Yeah.
But the younger one, so that the generation change, they need to talk to them.
And also like establish schools for them. Get them some sponsorships. If kuna nini shule mzuri.
The issue is not school.
Promote education.
The issue is not school. There are so many schools there.
Yeah, then.
And that's why some of them were learned. The thing is the community mobilization. That education is way better than this one. But like when we go back to such communities, we praise those in their lives. Like those in cattle camps or whatever, we give praise to them. Even some of us, they are from
the Western world.
Yeah. But we're not supposed to ridicule them, but we're supposed to tell them something.
Yeah, but then, it's quite challenging, right? Because you find even lost boys wananunua ng'ombe in the name of they are going to marry maybe second, third wives hizo. Unaona?
So it creates the market.
And those cows, yeah. So those cows would also kind of, like the more they get, the more kuna enemy from the other side. Ataona, east side kuna a lot of cows. Acha twende one of these days we steal them. Unaona? But then if people were to nini vitu kama marriage, si lazima uweke ng'ombe. If you have your money, you come with it. If these people, your in-laws wanataka ng'ombe, then you tell them, you go to the market, check the prices, and then give them the money. If they want to buy, they can go buy the cow. If not, then... But see ati cows sasa ndio the mode of exchange, because kuna a lot of medium ya exchange, right? You can just use whatever resources you have.
Yeah.
Wewe umekuwa hapa majuu. And then like most of the times you find people in the city wakinunua ng'ombe. When the cows get stolen in the village or in those cattle camp, what do they say? When ngadi yemar, unaona? But then it's never their own cows wenye wako on the ground that are stolen. Inakuanga ya mwenye ayuko. Sometimes they even sell it or they go and exchange it with a different one from a different cattle camp. And then they say yours is gone.
No, there's a human aspect. It's not something to deal with the people in cattle camp. Even those in towns, if you give somebody your money, he will say, oh, it was attacked by the Toronto boys and your money got lost. So it's like people always want something for free. And they have also mastered that art of trying to get something for free too. So it's not about the cattle camp people. It's a human thing.
Yeah, no, the thing I'm driving at is if you try to move away from that culture, just do your things differently from how cattle keepers do theirs. Wacha wenye wako na ng'ombe wao using cows. But there's no point, because some people will start buying cows for months before ifike sasa enough to marry someone's daughter.
Hey, I
so
talking
like,
of life examples.
Are they not real? This of it will happen. Like I hear a lot of stories. I see some posts on social media and stuff. Unajua, in this age of technology, you just come across information anyhow. Yeah. But like hizo vitu, they need some of the things that encourage this thing. Yeah. Because someone who had only 5 cows now has like 30 cows. What will their opponent think? Si ataona, ningekujia those 5 cows ningepata less. Now I can get 30 cows. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
So just move away from that practice. Yeah.
And do something. Or if they're going to keep cattle, they do it like the modern way of keeping them. You see, when you keep them in your own compound, even in Juba, people can keep their cattle.
Yeah.
You go buy a big compound, you go buy their feed, and you start generating a lot of money out of it. And you'll not be losing any life. But anyway, it's really crazy. And I hope people of Warrap, peace should return anytime soon. And so that you guys can resume a better life, man. The one you guys are doing is not good.
Yeah.
People need to live longer.
It's really sad. Like sometimes I just see this news and I get pissed off. Because this is just a 14-year-old, 13, maybe an old grandparent.
Yeah, they even kill women.
Yeah, or very small kids.
Yeah.
Then you wonder, like, these people, what did they do wrong? Because when you start open firing or shooting bows and arrows, you burn the village.
Fire,
Like,
please.
it doesn't make sense.
Firing bullets.
Yeah.
Nobody use arrows nowadays in South Sudan.
Yeah, but like all those, they are not. How do you feel when you pull the trigger to knock out somebody?
You never know the feeling until you are in those shoes. That's what I can say for now. So they're the one that can be in a better position to tell. Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah. You don't just wake up one day and decide I'm going to eliminate this person and you're not the one who created them. Or you did not give birth to them.
Yeah.
So why do you feel the need to take them out? Just do your thing and let other people live their lives. Na maisha isonge mbele. Kila mtu akona their own days. It's not like people will not die, but you don't escalate it or fasten the process of living this world. Yeah.
All right, so that's it for Jimosi podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and see you in the next video.